Okay.
Okay.
So you know when they say she's a brick house and they mean that she's like stacked and sexy? Well, as we just learned this week, actually, that just means that she's a brick house and sexy.
You're right. This is the time.
So it's been a very, very long week, and we've seen so many hundreds of games that, at a certain point, even like the most beautiful, like graphically high quality ones start to blend together and you just like forget stuff. You're looking at your list later and you're like, oh my god, I completely, like, this wasn't even on my radar anymore. What is this? But my pick for the best in show is not like that. This is one that I've just been continuing to think of since we saw it. We saw it first at Day of the Devs, and I think we saw it once more the next day. So building relationships is my pick of the show. I think y'all are gonna love it. So this is it defies labels a little bit, clearly. You play as a house, and you're new to this island and you're looking for love. You're looking to date other houses. They call them bachelor expats. Uh, and it's just so goofy of a concept that it just has stuck with me this whole time. You see throughout the trailer, like, in addition to the sort of dating and conversation stuff, you're also doing like mini games like fishing, except you're fishing for cars that are swimming around in the water. You are dashing and like learning skills like dashing. It's just really wild. Um, and then of course eventually you'll be like going on dates with houses, presumably. And so part of the reason I picked this is when I first watched this trailer and this interview with the dev too, is it kind of reminded me of some games that I've played in the past, like Queer Man Peering Into a Rock Pool.jpg, and Smile for Me and Great God Grove. And that was like for no tangible reason. But then in learning about the dev a little bit later, I was like, oh, they're just a queer dev and weird and funny was the tie to those other games. That's why it was like calling them to mind for me. And I just love those sort of like absurdist funny games. We talk about it sometimes, like we just don't have enough funny games, and it's just so silly. And the dev talks about like wanting to tackle really both silly and serious stories. They say they make bingo bongo games that are secretly Daddy Did Not Love Me games. Is on their official developer website.
Hell yeah.
So, this developer has the juice, I have to say. And yeah, I just love everything that I'm seeing out of it. And sort of the hint that this is gonna tell some sort of like sweet, like human story through this really absurd concept. They described it not as like a dating sim, but as like a short hike but stupid. So I think it's gonna be a lot of this like exploration of this island type of stuff. And I just think it's wonderful. And I think that it really shows like what this whole week is about. It's about, seeing and latching onto a game that's really maybe kind of niche. It's not going to appeal to everybody, but it has an audience because you can see the passion and the fun that went into it. And we're just, here celebrating developers making games that appeal to them and that are fun to them and that are just weird creative ideas. And I think, that's what I want to celebrate most of all during this week, is just the fact that that's possible and that those games can get a platform like this in such a really turbulent environment. So that is why I'm going with building relationships for my pick of the show.
To kind of piggyback off of you and also just give you kind of like that step up and like emphasize everything you're saying there. The developer on Twitter after this showcase, after getting this reveal, went on Twitter and said that, hey, look, I got like 4,000 or 5,000 wish lists after this. I'm quitting my day job to work on this game full time. I feel so energized. I feel so ready. And you all like finding, I'm sure it's also like, sometimes we're little weirdos too, right? When you find that community of weirdos that are around you, right? You feel so empowered. And so like I'm sure it's like you put this game in the world, you just don't know. You just don't know
exactly
who's gonna like embrace it. And then to see the success that they've seen through this process it's just been so sweet and so wonderful. And yeah, just like shout out, like congrats, you get to pursue this, you get to follow this now.
Yes.
And make the building dating sim that we've all been waiting for. Quick shout outs from me are just that one, great, like what a name, what a perfect name.
Perfect.
Building
relationships.
relations.
No notes.
Fantastic. Two, my favorite bit in this, and I've said it several times, is at some point in this trailer, you can see it, you get asked if you're a rooftop or a bottom floor, and that just, again, brilliant, a masterpiece.
It's got the juice.
It's got the juice. Fish, I know you actually did play this a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I played the demo.
Yes.
I did pretty much all the content in the demo, and I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like this game, it has got the juice. Like the writing is very clever, very funny. A lot of like stuff where, it doesn't need to be the most eloquently written thing. Like it's just a funny little tidbit of a joke there, where it's just like one of the, how you get the fishing rod to be able to fish. Like there's like a tugboat stuck in a pond. And then you're like, oh, well, why don't you? He's like, oh, I need you to catch every type of fish that's on this island. They're like, oh, I can't choose it. It's like, because I'm stuck in this pond. Now go do it. And it's just like stuff like that where you're just like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, I'll be right back.
My bad.
You got it.
Yeah, like my bad. Like it's just like you can tell there's a lot of love in here. Like past just like telling a story of that's pretty human. It's not clearly it's more of a metaphor. It's not about houses. It's about exploring yourself and exploring your relationships and stuff. And I like it a lot. It's a weird little game from a weird little developer for little weirdos like us, and like it definitely. I put it on my wish list when we first saw it and stuff, and I was like, oh, it might be a fun little game. I might try out someday. But after playing the demo, I was like, I gotta play this like afterwards, just because it's such a cute little game, very very full of heart. And after playing the demo, it just gets me more excited for the actual release.
I'm stoked that we're almost done with all this, so I can finally hop in.
Are we all just like playing the? I mean, spoiler: Fish, I don't think has a demo, but are we hopping straight into demos? Like,
hell yeah, we are.
I got a lot of. I got to play a few demos this morning, and I got a fuck ton more to play.
I'll say this. Sex update incoming for this game. It seems like at the end of the trailer, mentions sex DLC. Maybe we'll see. I would love to see what a sex scene between two houses looks like. To be honest,
It's like a nature documentary.
If there's anything, if there anything that comes away from, if the developer you end up watching this, love to see that. Would love to see love to see what that turns into.
Formal request.
All right. Building relationships. Congrats. Hey, y'all want to do demos?
Hey,
or just everyone just playing demos all at the same time?
Everyone just sit in a Discord call.
Yeah,
and
let's
play
get
demos.
in a call. Everyone's playing different demos.
Yeah.
I'm so down.
You guys can't. You guys got to write.
No.